Also with me together today is Anton, who is the founder of Scandiweb, our big IT company. And yeah, Anton has been, let's say, journeying with me in the same, let's say, our university for several dimensions at the moment. And basically, he's also going to share his experience, his view. Welcome, Anton.
I would like to share two things. The topic that I found fundamental for me to start the journey and to progress on it. The topic that Andrei touched upon many times, that's the topic of internal, where this negative or suffering happens, and external. So we will see them clearly, the difference between them, the border between them. Then we see what is happening there. Is there some mechanism that can be improved to improve your lives? And third, what is the effort necessary to actually get an outcome? So very fundamental thing, but I hope it will be very useful for you and we'll spend good time. And second thing, after each dimension that we visit, our teachers, Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji, give us a gift to share the state they have been sharing with us. This time it is enlightened flow with you through a process called Siddhi. So if you want, only if you want, you feel like you can come at the end and I can perform it with you. Just you need to understand that I will need to place my hands on your head. So when Andres shared that I can come and talk, I thought, okay, it's a really nice opportunity. And then I felt that it is like talking about you have seen aliens. Guess why?
Because they live in a materialistic world and people don't really believe what they don't touch.
Yeah. What think about, you have seen an alien yesterday. How would you tell about it to your friends? Well, I mean, you have seen an alien, but when you describe it, feels like people don't really get it. Because you use the same words, but the object is completely different. I think that's the trick of this process that Andrei is describing, that it happens in the realm that we neither can see, nor we can touch, nor we can measure, nor we can showcase. Everybody can showcase their car, or maybe their bank account, or be in forms like Forbes in 57 or first place. But this internal world is so tough, because no idea. You look at me, this guy is standing here, but maybe his internal state is actually this big, and yours is that big. And I could be working on this for years, and I don't have any kind of objective really way to see that it improved. Very challenging topic. But we will go for it, okay? So let's start with the first thing and define where happens what. You will need to come up with some maybe unpleasant situation and we will figure out exactly what happens internally and what externally. Do you have some unpleasant situation example?
Arrive late to the meeting. Arrive late to the meeting. This meeting.
And?
Shame.
And shame? Okay. So what happens where?
Thinking.
Sorry?
Thinking.
Yeah, but if we have external and internal worlds, let's say a person who is arriving
If we
late.
think external, shame internal, that you ask or
Yeah. So we physically
divide?
we entered the meeting maybe 5 minutes later than other people. That's external thing, right? Happened. And internally we see maybe ourselves an hour in the meeting, sitting with a shame. Yeah? Any more examples?
Andrei's wife not get the visa, and Andres go alone to the retreat.
I was just about to say.
And Andres each day feel that, wow, there is no suffering, only one. If the Tanya will be with me, so it's be much better. So, but this thing is negative and it's caused me suffering. And I put this thing outside. But no, this is not negative thing because maybe I can help. So this is external, missing visa. No shame that is late, but I want to challenge this situation and solve. And I cannot solve, and this caused me suffering. But I can distract because I can tap in my mind, and there's nothing to suffer because this is just a game. But I want to in this game, tiny be. So I don't continue.
Yeah. External, as such, external is just an email with an attachment, right? It's just an attachment that tells you granted immigrant visa for whatever 3 months. So an external thing here would be a simple PDF paper. Oh yeah, okay, records in their database. So that would be external thing. And all this cascade of thoughts would be completely internal, right?
So yes.
For example, some influencer sees that, okay, the volumes of views of followers are decreasing and he might feel depressed, like feeling, I'm losing relevance, right? So what happens externally? What changed? Yeah. Yeah, numbers. Just numbers.
Not the shaming KPI.
Numbers changed. Numbers changed. Like he feels bad. Give me some tricky examples that we cannot really solve in our group.
But examples where you feel that it's external, what is internal.
Yeah, just no, we will figure out what is it, but some example maybe where it's hard to figure it out.
What is internal, what is external?
Yes. This we need to, because we talk a lot about internal, but we really need to draw a line.
Relationships with people.
Yeah, some specific example. Somebody
You
drug.
get a call from your relative. I don't know. I don't want to speak about you, but somebody, wife, kids. So sorry, the urgence, the hospital's dying. You have 2 minutes, be there. Operation is not succeed. He is dying. What do you do? So it's external, and internal is what?
Okay, so external, a person is in hospital, right?
Yeah, it will be that. Sure.
They tell
Relative.
possibly.
Wives, kids.
Yeah. Of course, a lot of worry could be. It's so. External, we see there is a state, like a physical state of a person, so either like heartbeat is decreasing. And internal, I mean, a lot of things could be. It could be, say, if it's your parents, for example, you can, okay, feel shock, terror, worries, and you can feel this, oh, I did not pick up the phone when my mother called me, and could it be my last call, so you can start feeling how you're a bad son.
But you are now, sorry to interrupt, now in the hospital together with your mother. Everything fine, but doctor said, you know, she will be dead, but if she will hope, really, and if you can do this hope, maybe she will live forever. So again, external, you kind of can change, but internal, you are in the suffering. I just give you harder example.
No, let's define better the example I want. I want a life situation that is not from a discussion of sufferings, right? So because you kind of give me example already, and you are suffering, and what you will do. So just a regular life example that we are not yet attacking through, suffering. So don't give an answer in the question.
You wake up in the morning, Trump is in elections.
Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay. Let's say you are you are not a Republican. You are against Trump, right? No, I mean you, the guy who woke up. Okay. So guy might feel that all the efforts, like he was really for Kamala, all the efforts are gone. Another guy may feel that the country is dead now. So okay, so what happens externally and internally? What did happen externally?
There's a news that Trump's winning.
Yeah, okay, you just read a news line, that's it. And then a cascade of emotions. But okay, done with that, let's give examples from your life. Because that's when we might find it harder to actually see this split, because we tend to embrace the thing fully, both external and internal. But we need to make an effort and split it, even if we already attached to the situation. Maybe you can remember some situation, because really to progress there, you don't need to think about Trump or some relatives. You need to come up with some case where you feel emotionally attached. Then it will make some use for you.
Working a 9 to 5 or rather 9 to 10, but knowing that actually you want to build something of your own, but you have to work this job.
Oh, okay.
You have some
Very good.
other stuff.
I actually don't know answer for this. So you need to tell how do you bucket this? So what happens in external world?
In external, well, you need the money.
So you work actually. So you sit in the office, right? You sit like 9 to 10. You sit in the office. That's external. And then internally, what happens internally?
You feel stuck, and you feel you feel pushed into this frame that you have to, and you don't see a way how to find energy and focus for going for the bigger thing.
And it's not just you sit in the office, but I think here is many things. Finally, good real example, many difficult things. So that's why this is not easy, because you need money. So kind of you not just sit in the office, you cannot leave the office because otherwise you don't get paid. Right? So you are there for money that you cannot get elsewhere. So we need, yes, okay. And then you have a dream, and while sitting in the office, this dream is slowly kind of dying. Maybe other guy makes this idea, so you feel like you're losing your time.
Oh, freedom.
And freedom, yeah. So, and if nothing much happens in the external world, you do some work, right? You invest time, you do some tasks. But in your internal world, as Andrei tells, you are suffering, right? You're suffering from betraying your dream, from feeling you are a slave. A lot of feeling everybody else can do it, not you. A lot of cascade of thoughts, and nothing really bad happened. No relative. You maybe don't care about Trump. You are just successful office worker, and you at the same time, because you have a dream, it's good, and you are suffering. Very good example. Because it seems nothing happens externally, right? Nobody really come and told you something, or there is external shock. No, you have a successful career, so externally you have a successful career, and internally you feel bad. So you understand, right?
Yes.
Okay, some more painful examples from your life. I will tell funny example from yesterday, from my life. Because also my kid is here and it's connected with him. But give me some examples from your life.
Can you give an example of a relationship when the ex-husband would not let the child to live with his mom?
Mm-hmm.
So the child's mom is not allowed to live together with the child. There's the suffering that the mother doesn't get.
What kind of suffering? What is emotion?
Emotion. It's sadness. It's anxiety that you don't.
Not really hate, you don't want to kill the husband.
Well, I'm
Excellent.
past that.
Positive.
Yeah, I'm over that. But yeah.
Okay. So yeah, okay. Externally child is just in another place. He's alive, or she.
Yeah.
So child is okay.
I can meet.
I mean, from the side, people who observe, you think, okay, fine. But you are there, and you internally, as a mother of a child, you feel terrible. Because you need to remember these examples, because on the second stage we would think, is there a chance to do something about it with methodics that Andrei shared, or in general with what we are kind of learning there in the Oneness University. So externally, again, not much really happens. The child is living that life. I mean, for a kind of uneducated observer, child is there, mother is there, but mother feels deeply sad and possibly depressed because she's rejected her, kind of organic, her natural right to care for a kid. Externally and internally, yeah, okay? Makes sense. Everybody is on the same page, yes? So, funny example from my life. So this kid, when I was leaving to this training that is damn far in Australia, he gave me a chocolate bar. He gave me, okay, father, take it. Maybe you will be low on sugar. You eat it and everything will be fine. And I put it in my jacket, and I was finding it sometimes and looking, oh, nice, he gave me it. Nice memory from a kid. And yesterday, going out of a plane, I was looking for something, found it, and it was kind of sticky because this fat from chocolate apparently started to go through the paper, and I was like, oh, I need to throw it away. And then I went, but Anton, stop! Are you a good father? Your kid has given it to you. It's a symbolic matter. How come you want to throw it in the dustbin with all the shit that is there? And I was like, wow. So good example. Actually, it's still with me. I said, Anton, what are you thinking about? It's just a ruined chocolate bar.
I think this is true. Say for all the drawings, it's
Oh yes.
oh yes.
I was a parent.
What do you do?
Yeah, but it was, but it was exactly as you tell, yeah, it's like an art, a moment in your life that you remember and cherish. And then going on, like, what kind of shithead are you? You are going from a training and you look at this random piece of material and think that it symbolizes your love to your child. What are you learning there? And then it's okay, fine. But I didn't deliberately went and throw it out because I said, okay, I don't care about it. I just place it there. And okay, my connection with the kid is not really, dependent on symbols.
You put it out or not?
No, I put it in the same pocket because
But you still...
I still
feel
have
the
it.
suffering when you...
No.
The question is before. Do you feel the suffering when you find it? You mean an example for this? Suffering is that, then you realize that you learn in the course not help you to...
No, it's not suffering. I just observed. I just observed the course. I just felt it like it's a funny thing because I just caught myself at the pattern that I was, because all these courses, among other things, give you an opportunity to much better observe what happens internally, all these steps. And then instead of just doing the only last step that you always were doing in your life, you can actually say, okay, this last step is actually a product of previous 3 steps.
You look at yourself that you are sentimental, but say, okay, Anton, it's good to be sentimental, go ahead, it's not suffering. That's it like it? What's happened after? Sure.
For me, what happened is that I felt I can throw it, I can keep it, I don't care.
You be equal.
Yeah, I became.
So you find the neutral. You're neutral.
Yeah, I just.
Not suffering, neutral.
I don't think I made. I don't think I made. I don't.
No suffering.
Only 2 stages.
Yeah,
No suffering or suffering.
yeah. I think I moved to no suffering and more kind of a joy that I actually kind of distracted this sequence because
Use error and get to no suffering state.
Yes, I got to no suffering state because I could observe the sequence of thoughts, and once, as Andrei told, once you observe something, you are getting free from it. Yeah. And I kind of started to laugh internally, and yeah.
And let's go.
Yes. So one example I can give also from my life that I run a company, there are many people, and sometimes they resign. And there was time I was only HR or basically handling all this. So each time I'm getting a new email with a subject like resignation, my heart was beating fast, and I felt kind of some abandonment. I felt abandonment. They're abandoning me. So what did happen? What was happening externally?
People leave and send you the email. That's it. Normal.
Something.
Nothing special.
You like to have a whole in your company.
Вислав зичу ситуацію конкретно.
That's going to be filled in maybe urgently.
Well, it's a business consequence. Initially, externally happens just one thing, a guy just sent an email. Not that like a hole that I need to fill, find somebody or project, but it's first, it's simple thing, it's an email. Right?
But it's like you see a bomb flying onto your house. Still just
Where is this bomb flying? Where is this bomb flying?
dropped by
Yeah, but where is this bomb flying?
into your mind or into your business.
Business is external, but this bomb that you described, where it is flying actually?
Rewarded at you.
Well, exactly. This is very good example, and apparently you have something similar maybe in your life, because you see there is an email, and we start seeing bombs that we believe are real. They are flying in our business, but actually, it's what happens internally. So externally, it's an email, but internally you see bombs. Maybe some other guy will say, "Okay, it's much good, less costs."
Yeah, but then the guy has to rebuild that boat.
Well, depends what kind of person left. Maybe you actually wished this guy to leave because he was toxic, but you did not have guts to fire him.
Well, that's
So you see,
bad for you then. You can fire bad people.
there could be a lot of situations, but I think now we can move to second, because why this skill is necessary, even if it seems so trivial, but there are cases, especially for which you are kind of vulnerable. These are the cases when you start to seeing bombs flying on you and feeling them as being real. I mean, like as if it happens really something externally. So somebody just did something simple like sending an email. Okay, it's specific email about resignation. But instead of clearly managing boundaries, yeah, like in Latvia we manage boundary with Russia and Belarus. Like we really want to have a boundary, right? Here we see these two things like immediately colliding, and then this terrible suffering and other things start. Maybe you don't agree with it, but then give me some other examples that we can kind of see that there are things happening both externally and internally. Or
So let's take the same example, but let's take in the 5-10 years. You also start to say yourself like an entrepreneur. You first get this email saying like, the client said so, no more. The clients come and go. This employees come and go. So but this is like every day. But it at the end, it's anyway give you at least some 5, 10, 15, first 20 years. Some suffering because it's like kind of team. You share one values because you I think in the small companies 20 people, you know what you do together, and it's always like some suffering. But even if I know without or this is not bound, but this is like a little suffering, and I think it's good that the suffering
well,
is.
it's no problem. The purpose of this first step is just to segregate it. Yeah. So just to understand what is suffering, what is internal suffering, and what is the external situation. So that's the purpose. Externally, we just receive an email. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's not that easy, because we never think in this kind of two-step way: external, internal, external. Like we always kind of think in the way that creates us pain, right? And pain is created by this negative emotion, so we never actually did distinguish that actually there was this external happening, and then I started to feel this. No, we just feel this, and then we see what happens. But maybe one more example. Maybe somebody has some painful thing, or from friends, I don't know.
What kind of example are you really asking for? Like, what do you mean?
Just a life situation that has caused emotional response.
No, for example, one that we speak with repeatedly when she been here, she also speaking a lot, of course, about suffering, and I asked so that, there is a suffering, what is when I see that others suffer. This is not my suffering. I am empath, I open my to empathy, and she give you her answer.
Okay, some specific, like you saw on the
No,
street.
for example, I visit, I don't know, Ukraine, and come back from Ukraine recently, yeah, and or the Hannes called me and I hear, I really suffer that I can do anything. I know that I can't do anything, yeah, but the suffering still are in me, and I feel that that's.
No, that's okay. Removing suffering is,
But this is like external.
Okay, so you see what exactly? Okay.
Still
Come back with the suffering from the war area.
Okay, so, but what kind of suffering? Because you cannot help, like, to really stop it. Because
That is the suffering that cannot help.
okay. So you feel kind of powerless, or you feel powerless because you possibly you are entrepreneur, or because you got used to fix all these things. Because we entrepreneurs, we can't stand any issues because they will come big. And now you face something where you are kind of okay.
Correct.
So pretty much a lot of external events, or pretty much the event is that people are shooting each other, and you are here in Riga, you're feeling very bad about it. So externally, some people who are your neighbors, not my relative, but neighbors in terms of country, they're killing each other, you feel bad. So let's look at second step. Could it be better? Could it be better? Let's take an example with a mother and kid. Externally, kid is there, mother is in another place, and internally she suffers because she cannot take full care. So I don't know, I mean, it's not this specific person, but let's imagine, like, what she does if she suffers. What are the actions? Okay, because we want to look at the relationship between internal and external. So external world made a person suffer. What would be the response to the external world? What will happen with the mother, or what mother would be doing? Possibly, okay, hire a lawyer, take a loan to pay for a lawyer, then engage in multi-year some. What else? Would she might just get into depression and just stay in the room eating medicine. Yeah, it also might happen. Alcoholism. So she will not even, okay, what else might happen with the mother?
Separation, aggression towards the mother.
Yeah, she can drink, and then she can come and start assaulting him, and then court will kind of reject her completely, that you cannot even come close to your kid. I think at least what is my perception of what we are doing there at these dimensions in this Oneness University is to understanding this mechanism of what happens internally and then working on changing it. So imagine a mother would not be in the suffering. What are the options for her? Just imagine, just hypothetically, for some reason, that she is happy and fully resourceful. What then she can do?
Start a new family to get the old kid. Sorry.
She can start a new family. It's already better than die as an alcoholic. It's still tough, right? New family. Okay, what else? She's happy and resourceful. She's like, fuck, yes, I'm great. What then can she do?
She can talk to her husband.
Yeah, I think during, divorce is usually happening, when people are not uberly happy, together, so it's usually and then finally now she's internally happy somehow with this situation. I would imagine if she really changed, you might remember something from your life and would approach her ex-husband. Things can change. Not that they would live together, but he can tell, wow, I see such a change. I really want the kid to be with you much more frequently. This would never easily happen. It would require a lot of work, but this we will cover in point 3. So second point, we just want to understand, is there some way to change your internal? So is there even some, how to say, range of possibilities? Because some people say, no, there is just one reaction. If your kid is not with you, you need to kill the person who made it. Or you need to suffer, kind of drink, show the world how painful it is, and die. Or end up in a hospital. So we need to see that there is some range. And if there is some range, then you can affect it. But how easy it is, we look at 3. So let's remember some other examples. The guy, me, who is stressed that people are leaving. Let's take influencer better first. Who is seeing the subscribers decreasing. Right? Subscribers decreasing. So, but let's imagine the guy is super happy and resourceful again. That he is waking up as it is his first day, kind of fresh day. He's like, oh, the life is amazing. But numbers are changing. What can he do?
Change the strategy.
And he can look where it is growing, for example. Because when you are stressed, you only look at how painful are your numbers, right? They are going down. If you are happy, you say, oh, okay, what happens in the world? What is going up? And then he is so open, so resourceful, he can ask for collaboration with someone new. He can just start anything new, but he can positively impact his business. And this impact would start, as also Andrei was mentioning many times, from internal state, not from external. That, okay, it's so bad, what should I do? Like from the suffering states, the more you spend in it, the more you kind of depress your ability to act in a creative way. And you yourself become a partner that is not that desirable because you are so you already look like a loser. Who wants to collaborate with losers? Psychotherapists. But you need to pay for them. Right? So you don't want to be. So if the state of the guy, so external things, bad thing happened, numbers, okay, let's call it bad, just external. Numbers decreased, but the guy, for some reason, is not much affected by that. He notices it and he wants to grow them, not decrease. But his internal state is not impacted, as in my first example. Or myself, I see the guys are leaving. So instead of being stressed and thinking, okay, and if these 20 would leave, then I'm like completely dead. So I would just notice it and see where they are living actually. I say, okay, they left, bastards, they left. How could they? I say, where they are living? Why they are leaving? What happens outside of my suffering zone? Because suffering is, that's also a quote from our gurus, suffering is self-centric, obsessive thinking. When you are so self-centric and obsessive, you see very little. Right? You don't see much except your suffering. So, do you believe, you as the audience, yes, that there are some external things and then some internal things. And the quality of how you manage because only you can manage your internal, right? Do you agree with this? That only you can manage your internal state?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only you. Как говорят на русском, обидеть нельзя, можно обидеться. You understand that person did something and you can get offended. I cannot directly offend anybody.
Yeah.
But sometimes people never, can you come up with an example when you believe somebody offended you? Or you are now pretty advanced and you always see the border, that somebody did something and then you decided to manage your internal state in a way to offend. Or there is some example where somebody offended you. Or you believe there should be such. Maybe you have seen such in
Just one example, like he himself to someone that if he did something to you and you didn't like it, you tell him, please don't do it again, and he does it again and again and again and again, and you just understand that you just can't do anything.
Yeah, but you understand you can do. I mean, it's not. He was doing a lot of things, but let's say he cannot. So he was maybe affecting. I mean, it's loud neighbor. He was affecting your ears pretty much, right? He was affecting yours, but he could never affect your heart, right? He could never affect directly your soul. He can. Maybe he was showing his ass to you, so he affected your eyes, but. And maybe he was doing it, 10 days in a row. but it's still your own emotional response, your own zone of responsibility, how you feel. Because some people might feel actually, turned on. Some people might feel disgusted. Some people might feel scared. They think, okay, this guy is nuts. Maybe he will just kill me next time. But some people might feel, annoyed. So all of this rich palette of options is internal and managed by each and everybody, each person in turn. So even if somebody is really abusing you, then of course, we'll talk in point right now that it requires a very advanced management of your internal state, right? So that's, I think, what you want to tell. That sometimes it feels it's impossible to not get offended. But it's okay, you can get offended. What we only need to understand is what happens externally and what internally, and take responsibility for our internal state. Because your interaction with your neighbor, or, not your fictional neighbor, depends on your internal state. If you already kind of lost and feel, it's much different if you really feel amused by that, or you feel that, okay, it's just temporary thing like a rain. There was sometimes 10 days rain in Latvia, so now I have 10 days in a row this guy. And I myself, I have a noisy neighbor. I was calling police. I just could not. I felt like I came here, I built a house here to live in a calm, nice place. And this guy is throwing some, extremely even distasteful playlist, not even nice. So it was driving me nuts. I don't know actually how it will be this summer, because I was in so many trainings. I'm curious how would I react to it now.
Give us your update.
You come with a training, with a test, with a test.
We give this music, we take the dogs that you don't like, or cats, and try test you.
Yeah, I first was coming, trying to have a friendly talk, or just remove buzz. So and then so there were many things I could suffer about, but okay. I plan to set up my own super loud things and just throw some meditation at him, When they have a party, I put some dong, dong, so you will see. But I was working with it, and actually somehow they started to have kids and their parties dropped. I lived there for more than 10 years already. So there was time for a lot of adventures. Okay, and final thing, the third, what I realized. So first, I realized that I really need to discern what happened externally. Anton, the guy is just having fun in the way he was raised. It's not what happening is that somebody is challenging your moral views. No, the guy is just having shashlik with friends. Yeah.
You got vegan?
No, it wasn't legal. For some reason in Ligo, all my area is empty. They go somewhere deep in rural area. So I understand I really need to stop, because it's easy now when you sit here at the benches, at this nice auditorium. But when you have a situation, it's so unusual to think in terms of what happened externally and what now happening internally. So I realized that it helped me a lot. Second, what I realized is that once I can really containerize external and containerize internal, I can work on it. And okay, I go for the same trainings as Andrei, for some other trainings, and I see that I understand better the mechanics of my internal kind of domino effect of what happens. And third thing what I wanted to share is what I realized is that the work on this internal state requires an immense effort. For some reason, I spent 20 years on my company, 20 plus. So we are more than almost 600 people, multi-million revenue, profits, and so on. So I was spending 10, maybe 14 hours per day. But when I started to look at this internal, I thought it's enough to go to a training and then things will be fixed. Then I thought maybe, okay, 3 trainings is enough. Or if I do some yoga in the morning. Then only I realized that if I really want to be, let's say, internal multimillionaire, I have to dedicate as persistent effort to it as I was doing in business. And I think you can think about similar, even the same line of thinking in sports. How can you go to one sports camp and then come back and you already fit for the remaining for your entire life? Or how can you learn a language in a week? Or, even car driving, you need some time. So that's also what Andres was mentioning in the end, that it requires persistence. But it took me quite a time to understand that this persistence is really of a huge scale. That it requires as much work as building a company from scratch. What do you think? Do you think differently? Do you think actually, Anton, these 2 good books and this YouTube channel can make it?
If we like a final example can in the war in the Svensson there was another story maybe story that small girl wants to go in the gas camera and she was very scared and the old rabbi was behind her. Okay, there is no scare, this is bus, I come in. And he go in peacefully, peace, light, and actually then the war ends very near, and this girl spent her life. And she said, this is for me, it's like this state, when you fully control, external, I must die, but internal, I'm full. Then for that, no, is YouTube, not manageable, with just some trainings, not manageable, absolutely manageable. But then there is the next step. This is the grace, or whole universe, or whole it is. Here, I think is the first step to understand how to manage myself, what I can manage. And if I see this is not more manageable, then how to... Can I say like that or no? Or is my part of answer? No.
Well, I think what you described is like a...
The life is a mystery.
Like a shock piece, and then there is this amazing story of somebody, giving peace and making a first step. What I'm concerned about is how can you live better, not 24/7, but at least 12/7, or at least 8/7. Because, okay, training is training, but then you come, you have 100 emails, kids waiting, and then you might actually find yourself again in this swirl where you glue tightly together external and internal, and you just not really suffering, but if we extend the topic, of course you want these beautiful things like that you also experienced at these courses, because gurus can give you the state of presence, where you actually start feeling how amazing life would be if you work on your state, if you remove some thinking, it's so nice here, but I need to think about blah, 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 blah. So it's what, I don't know if it's answer. If this story helps you to advance further, okay.
I ask you, steps that is absolutely interesting. You take internal, external, how to roar, affect. Okay. I said, if I put that, let's say, target, what I want to do in the spiritual, there is no like targets must be put, but I just want to be at the moment when the die, the death will come, and be peace in that, and then go with peace. So, and that is what they're looking in all schools, in all techniques. But here, I have direct, let's say, touch with Sri Pritaji, and she invests this, you remember, this open the consciousness, and the second one is, she is real guru, but she not speak a lot about that. She said, let's concentrate on that, and I understand perfectly that.
I think that's also what Andrei is taught in the end, that it's the beauty of your choice. Once you remove all these, obsessive thoughts and suffering in general, if we describe it in one word.
How you said gurus itself, concentrate, obsessive thinking. Is this
Obsessive self-centric thinking.
Suffering is obsessive self-centric thinking. So obsessive that it comes in the loops like it never ends.
obsessive self-centric
Thinking, yeah. Suffering is obsessive self. So then there is no problem for you. When you have suddenly $10 million, it's not a big problem how you spend them. You maybe don't spend them. Maybe you give them. Maybe you whatever. You burn them. Maybe buy that hours. Maybe it will be enough. They ask 75 just for that, and still have 25 million left. So a lot of possibilities. But
questions about millions, this is usually they spend the minutes of your life that is remaining maybe better, because the millions when you have the death sentence not always help. I mean, in my age, I'm let's say 56, and mostly people start thinking about spirituality, let's say after 33, 44, 55, and closer to that, they're thinking more. And less about money, more about spirituality. That's joking.
okay.
I have a third question, because it's from my perception, this self-awareness, self-control, it requires internal resources, plenty of them.
Yes.
I have an example which came to my mind. So almost every day when I go from home to office, which is my used to be a peaceful walk, similar to your neighbor, I have a dog. My neighbor's got a stupid, loud dog. Every time I walk by their estate, which is quite long, the dog follows me within meters around the fence and loudly barking. At a certain point, and kind of first I spend my internal resources on balancing it out, and then I just call the pepper spray to balance it out. And every now and then the dog gets it, and the question is like, well, maybe I'm overreacting to the dog, because neighbors don't get it. I thought that similar to your neighbors.
But how do you feel internally? Because when our gurus also sometimes get these questions of life situations and they never answer them, because their answer is always, once you have better state, you will figure it out. But what are the, are you scared? You generally don't need to be scared. You're just displeased.
I feel annoyed, disrespected, and on some level threatened, because if the fence breaks, that's the dog might attack me.
Yeah.
Like there is no real, consciousness in her eyes. It's a hot dog. Probably those three. I can calm myself down. There are days where I just walk around it and I just kind of talk to her and play with her. But then there are days when I don't.
Just random example. Again, we were thinking about this woman, kid somewhere else that became super happy and resourceful. I just got a vision that there is this happy and resourceful guy who actually buys some meat or some snacks for the dog, and then dog never barks. Maybe. It's not an advice. Maybe, this dog bites your finger. But
We are familiar with the dog, the same as we did with our dog and the neighbor behind our why better?
Yeah, I think that's a great example. I mean, I had tons of very similar situations with people, with dogs when I felt like offended. That was my paradise, my 5 minutes from this damn day that stinks, when only I can breathe. And now they destroyed it. So it's not some dog, but you might feel like entire beauty of your life is by these people who cannot pay for some proper trainer. And that's the problem of our inner state, that once it is at this situation, we are just kind of unable to act creatively. I mean, I did not mention it, it's kind of too much, but the more, at least in this Oneness University, people go to such courses, the deeper they go, the less they have external problems as such. So if it would be influencer, the numbers would not drop. He would sense that something new is cooking and would be there before people started to leave him. So you start in generally living in a better world externally. But even if something happens, you're in a much more resourceful state that you can actually produce some situation, because between you and this dog in the universe, there should be so many options. But I have no idea. But you in no suffering state, like 100% will figure out. Something would come to your mind. I think that's the purpose of. Let's say I went to first course of Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji. I actually met Sri Pritaji here for the first time. I talked to her briefly, and then I went. I realized, say, my inner state changed, my view of the world changed. I came back here. I organized a workshop for our company for 3 or 4 days, not for all, maybe leadership, 30 people, everybody came to Riga. And it really, we have been pretty much stagnating. We grew a lot during COVID, and it was 1% revenue down, not much, but it was stagnation, and then the next year the same. And after this meeting, the state, so the inner, so externally, things were not bright. But through the training, I could change my state. So I came, gathered everybody for 3 days, was talking with them, not giving dikshas, just talking. And then things changed. They changed quite radically. So I can tell in numbers, we added almost 500,000 a month of revenue to our services. For us, it's a very big number. It's like roughly plus 20% to our revenue. And we close the year with growth of both revenue and profitability. So very practical examples.
The idea about which Andrei and Anton are speaking is to separate our thoughts and feelings from ourselves. So your exact reaction to the dog is how you interpret what is happening. It is that I will interpret it very differently. So it's not you are sad or offended by this dog, but your mind is doing that because you was grown up this way as you were. Yeah. And when you understand that, then you can just like see on your mind that he's doing something, and that's why you're feeling that, and that's not you. And then you have like this opportunity to distinct from the situation.
I think we pretty much late of time. So if there is one more question, we can just go ahead to ask if you wish. Else, we can finish there. And if you want some mystical experience, then you can get there near Tatiana, and we organize it. Else, I'm really... Yeah. Else, I'm glad so many people are interested in spirituality, Andrei. You build great community.